Yo, 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 yo. What's good, people? It's your boy Jason Gooner. We're back in the studio. So you know what time it is. You see the jersey. So you know what happened today, right? The squad release, yeah. You're not under a rock. You know what's going on. So we're here to break it all down, discuss. I'm gonna give you my reaction to the names we saw, the squad that was picked, and try to just grade the squad overall. Maybe we'll do a rating scale, something like that. And I want to get your thoughts as well. So of course, interactive. We're gonna go through the comment section as well as hear me speak on the team. Um, Also, we're gonna play a little piece of the press conference today. Want to hear the coach talk about some of the things he spoke about in that press conference. And then I have the names loaded up as well. So we're just going to look at the whole squad, see the names, try to break it down by position, and maybe we can try to select the best possible squad to face New Caledonia as well. Just like a first crack at the team sheet to face New Caledonia and get the job done so we can move on to the next game against DR Congo. All right. So that's how we're going to run this one. Um, if people have the desire to, we will open up the phone line as well towards the end of the show and let people give their comments and their thoughts as well. If you guys want to do that, we can do that. All right. So first things first, people, we don't want to take forever because we don't know, say, it's late. It's in Friday night, 10:30 my time, 9:30 in Jamaica. But people, this is a YouTube show. So you have to do the things that really help out the channel. You see it scrolling on the screen for a reason. Like, share, and subscribe. That is what we need to do. That is what we need to do. Yo, 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 yo. Big up yourself in a BM in the building from Shirley. Blessings. Rob Smith in the building say one thing about Speed is man that know how to trick the crowd. We say that man know how to trick the crowd. Why? I tell you the truth. Jason, in your honest opinion, do you think the new players can move the needle? I don't, but hopefully I'm proven wrong. Well, BM, we're going to discuss all that, We're going to talk about all the players that were picked, reasons for why they were good picks. Some of them might not, I don't agree with some of them. We're going to discuss all of that tonight. And I'm going to try my best. If I disagree with something, I will bring something to the table in terms of who I would have picked, right? And it doesn't really count for much because the team is already picked. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and this is the squad that was picked. We have to work with it. And I don't feel completely bad about the squad. I'm going to be honest with you. There's elements of it that I do like. I see improvement in at least some of the makeup of the squad. I think a lot more thought was definitely put into having enough pieces at each place. Do I agree with all the pieces? No, but at least I see cover in areas when sometimes you look at the squad and you can see that an area might be light. So that's one thing that I do like about this squad. So there are some positives, people. It's not going to be a beatdown session. I do think some things were done correctly. Bless up, Neil. Welcome, brother. Big up yourself. Speed is way out of his depth. Time will tell. We did a family man. We are all family man. It could have Friday night, Monday, Sunday, don't matter. You see it? Yeah, man, any night. But today was a full day. I had to work today, and then after that, Julie had her playoff game for middle school, them win. And then we're up on the road, and then finally reach home, settle off, relax for a little bit, and then boom, forward out. Because I never want to make the night pass and we don't run out with some content, all right? Because I think the people, well, I won't even say the people, I wanted to get my thoughts out there. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Well, go on. We're there, We're there, my brother. Big up for checking in. Yeah, man. 25 of you early on in the building. Make sure you guys are smashing up the like button, share the content. I did my part. I shared it in a few spots. So hopefully the people check in. How we're gonna break it all down now. So first thing first, people. What I want to do, I want to go ahead and get on the screen. Should I just play it? Sometimes facial expressions, So I work with JFF Live. By the way, was anybody having problems with the audio on JFF Live today? I don't know. Let me see. Ball pre-live now. Jaja. So everybody would have Even though I should have known still, ball pre usually live pretty late. All of the people must get the press conference up and going. Oh man, just that. Jaja. Hey, it's the time I had my brother. No disrespect. All right, so JFF live. Boom bang bang. Squad announcement. So we're gonna play this. We're gonna play this, people. We're gonna play this. Yeah, man. Ball play the late show. Yeah, man. That was my original style, you know. When I started, I know say the man them. I watch Ryan and whoever else live, Cranky, you know. So I just say, all right, me up late normally because me's a night owl. And I just start run up with some late show. And that's what me get known for at first. But because Sabbath start today, yes, 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 yes. That is so true. That is so true. That's a fact. Whisper and Dixon. Whisper should have been picked. Even if we don't qualify, you want to give the experience. Whisper and Dixon are the future. BM, understand your sentiment. That selection criteria is the biggest farce of a document I have ever read. When you break it down, everyone is eligible. Actually, only Tyrese Hall don't meet the selection criteria. No, but I said that when it came out, Rob. I said, listen, some of these criteria and these points is just to save yourself to pick people that might not fit the earlier criteria, right? So first you start with top, like basically how it was listed, the hardest things to achieve were listed first, and then as you kept going, it became easier. So grandfather is a thing now. So if you play already, then it is what it is. So I said that from when the thing came out, like, but everybody's eligible. The only people not eligible really, if you follow the criteria to a T, is anybody that's like young and might not be in one of those top 20 leagues at the time, um, like a Tyrese Hall. You know, talent, yes, yes, in the future probably will play in a top 20 league, but for right now, he's not, you know. Um, yeah. But he likes to play. He was talking about his stats and passing accuracy and all these things. So hey, when a coach like a player, you know, they're going to do what they want to do with the player in terms of selection. All right, let's see. So I have the squad announcement. Bing bang boom bang. All right, let me know. Give me a thumbs up in the comment section. New merch on display. For a double speed this season, man. Car. Trust me. Facts. So I just want to stop it right there real quick. So he mentioned the JFF kit launch last week, and he mentioned the partners that he has. Now, from what I know, the social media that he would be talking about is more like influencers in Jamaica, which strategically is not a bad play. But I do think that they're missing a trick in that there's a social media involved in the football in Jamaica. On the can hear. So basically, I'll turn it up some more. Basically, you were saying that the kit launch, and this is the president speaking, the kit launch is testament to the fact that the JFF is current. So you're not getting no audio at all. Oh, but how is that possible? I turned the audio on. All right, let's try this again. Hold on. So this whole time I'm just there, I watch the people in mouth. It's not good. How about now? Nada. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Don't know why that's happening, but what we're gonna do is work with the audio through the microphone, then the talkerphone. People, them can't get me out. Don't worry. Don't worry, my people. Them can't get me out. It was a fixed game. Ads. Bill.
We want to be partners. And as it is now, still preparing some relationship with some journalists and some media houses, but it's a process. It is a process. So thanks again for being here. We certainly want to embrace you all as we work together. We're not tearing down anybody. We just to want to operate as partners. I'm not suggesting that you're always going to agree with Speed or Cooley or the Gensec or myself. No, because we want to establish a level of democracy. But be respectful in your exchanges. That's all you're asking for. Windwalker is the most typical example. We never, ever, always on the same page. But whenever we have a conversation, he's above board and shows a level of respect, even when we disagree. These are the kind of persons that we want to embrace and want to work with. Thanks again, and I'll hand back over to Master of Ceremony, Mr. What's your name again, sir? President Simon. Over to you, Simon Brewster.
Thank you very much, President. Appreciate that. Yes, we welcome our General Secretary, Mr. Daly. We'd also like to welcome Mr. McFarlane, Operations Manager. Also at the back, we have our Projects Manager, Sheldon Graham, as well. So
yeah,
thank
it was
you
on 2 times speed, but I put it to 1.5.
So at this moment in time,
so
we'll also ask for remarks as well from Head Coach Rudolph Speid, who will get into the squad for this morning. And momentarily, you'll also look at the monitor to your right as well to match what is being said. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Simon. President, thanks for being here. Miguel, I know the effort to be here. General Secretary, good morning, members of the media. Just following up on what the President has said. With these selection policies, we try to be as transparent as ever. I think this is the most transparent selection policy we'll ever have. So I'll just go through what is going to happen for the next 2 games. So the technical team definitely will be myself, Miguel Coley, first assistant coach. Then there's Michael Donaldson, he'll be the other assistant or physical trainer with Lamar Morgan. Aaron Lawrence is a goalkeeper coach. Derek McDowell is the doctor. Omar Stennett or Roy Simpson will be the manager. Simon Preston is the press officer. And
Hold on. I heard that, but him try to slip one in there for the team manager. Him say Omar Stennett or Roy Simpson. Him not sure. Him not sure. So we'll have to figure that out. But you heard him, head coach himself, first assistant Miguel Coley made sure to say that first assistant. Michael Donaldson, another assistant, was what he said. Who else? What did he say? Lamar Morgan will be the trainer, physical. And then you have team manager Omar Stennett or Roy Simpson. Then Derek is the doctor. And let's see.
So it's the doctor. Omar Stennett or Roy Simpson will be the manager. Simon Preston, the press officer.
Interesting.
Is will be our video analyst, and those are presented here on the screen. I just wanted to go back over the selection criteria and all the stakeholders.
You can't wait. All right. You say a bless at first at least.
Adamant that for selection, players who have a contract with a club in the top 20 leagues in the world, if you're not playing in the top 20 league in the world, then you must be playing in the top league in that country. And if you have played for Jamaica before with grandfather in, and you could become a member of the team. Now, the selection criteria is one because lots of players would have made the selection criteria.
Listen.
But of course, there's also some requirements that is a must. Players must be fit. Players must be playing regular minutes at their clubs, and players must exhibit a high standard of performance. And of course, other conditions may apply, right? I just wanted to go into an example of what we have.
Remember that now. Remember that. Let me play that again. I'm gonna slow it down. We're gonna slow it down. We're not gonna speed through this part. Listen to this. Because we're going to put this up to scrutiny when we're talking about the players.
High standard of performance, and of course, other conditions may apply, right? I've played for Jamaica before with grandfather in, and you, right? And we were adamant that for selection, players who have a contract with a club in the top 20 leagues in the world. If you are not playing in the top 20 league in the world, then you must be playing in the top league in that country. And if you have played for Jamaica before with grandfather in, and you could become a member of the team. Okay. Now, the selection.
All right, so 109,536 YU say, Jason, you misunderstand the selection top 20 criteria. The criteria requires that you have a contract with a top 20 club. It does not require that you are playing in the top 20 league. Is that right? Does anybody else agree with this? That's why I say I had one. Bless up to you. That's why I say anybody can play. Anybody can get in, because not only do the conditions or the criteria get more generous as you go, but after that, there's still other conditions can apply as well. So there's always that escape route, to just, at the end of the day, a coach needs to put that in, I would think, because you're going to have your, you might have a reason that no one else can understand, because you're the coach and you just have the last say, and that's what you think. But you say a top 20 club, but you say a top 20 club, what makes you a top 20? Okay, so meaning in the country you play, you have to be contracted to a top 20 club. That's what the criteria meant. Boy, I don't know, brother. That specific lines, it says, he says top 20 league. So why would he on purpose use the wrong words? You see what I'm saying? Number you. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't get the comparisons of Hall and Whisper. Yeah, well, nobody really did, except for the person that was doing the comparisons. I never got it either. Everyone can be selected. Yeah, exactly. Have to protect yourself. He said top 20 league or the top league in the country. Yes. Yeah. Okay, yeah, top 20 league. Okay. Yeah. We're saying this. I was wondering because I'm like, what would be a top? Anyway. So, cool. We clear that up. All right, back to this.
And criteria is one, because lots of players would have made a selection criteria. But of course, there's also some requirements that is a must. Players must be fit. Players must be playing regular minutes at their clubs.
and players must exhibit a high standard of performance. And of course, other conditions may apply, right? I just wanted to go into an example of what we have to look at before we pick somebody on a team. So for instance, on the board, we have 4 midfielders who would have played for Jamaica over the years. And I redacted the names. These are real life data. I've redacted the names of player 1, 2, 3, and 4 for midfield position. Total distance covered, and these are data supplied by the clubs for their last 17 occasions. So it's not a one-off game, it's a really good average. Player 1 would have done 8.9 kilometer over an average over his match. Player 2 would have done 10.8. Player 3, 10.2. Player 4 would have done 10.5. High running speed, that running at the top speed, player 1 would have done 194 meter. Player 2 would have done 720. The other 640 and 610. High intensity effort, player 1 would have just done 17 to 18 for the game. Player 2 would have done 52. Player 3 would have done 47. Player 4 would have done 45. Match intensity, meters covered per minute, one is 91.5, 108, 103, 104. Top speed, 26.2, 31, 30, 30. Just to give you an example, a player that is not trained run between 15 and 24 kilometers per hour. That's not trained, right? That's how fast that person could run. So it gives you an idea of when you look at the data of
hold on.
26.2, 31, 30, 30. Just to give you an example, a player that is not trained run the big player for would have done 45. Match intensity, meters covered per minute, one is 91.5, 108, 103, 104. Top speed, 26.2, 31, 30, 30. Just to give you an example, a player that is not trained run between 15 and 24 kilometers per hour. That's not trained, right? That's how fast that person could run. So it gives you an idea of when you look at the data of the player would.
But us, that is it.
Suits us. We know
Bless
that
us, Lord.
games, the opposition will be high intensity. They'll play in transition and counter attack. And for every position, these are some of the stats that drive the selection process. So it was not an emotional pick. They were all data driven. And we tried our best, even when you make the criteria, to select the right persons. These games are high intensity games, and they are not for development. They are win or die games. So, as you know, we have our coming on assignment March 26th, the Reggae Boyz versus New Caledonia. That's our first assignment. And we have 2 must-win games to qualify. Right. So I just named the official squad that we have here. I think it's a very balanced squad. We have 3 goalkeepers, 8 defenders, 8 midfielders, and 8 forward. Very balanced. And as you can see, there's a list.
All right. So he just spoke to a scenario where they would have done some research and analysis on almost solely, it sounded like solely around running statistics, work rate statistics, right? And he had, player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4. So it was obvious that players 2 through 4 had superior running attributes, superior running stats, right? And player 1 was a bit inferior. In fact, he made the reference of an untrained athlete running anywhere from 15 to 24 kilometers per hour. And I believe that player was at like 26, right? So close to what somebody when not trained might run, right? And that, I think, was a way for him to maybe give a little insight without giving too much insight into how he went about separating players once they fit all the criteria he wanted and they satisfied all the requirements as well, or the conditions as he calls them, right? I think, basically, like, he's just basically saying, like, listen, I had my specific things that I was looking for in players, specific attributes and skill sets, and this is how I went about making the selections. Now, look, I think that while Duklan sometimes is a troll, right, and he will tell you he is, I think he's onto something here. I honestly believe that this whole scenario, if people really deep it and meds it, is about more than likely Ravel Morrison. Because I just have a feeling that Ravel, because I believe in this press conference, someone asked him about Ravel and he answers. And I know that there were some checks made. And you know, when he says in that answer about Ravel that, you know, they did have some extensive research done and they did some checks and, you know, got reports and everything, I can attest to that. It's true. They were, you know, he was in the conversation, right? So it's not like it would have been so far-fetched if he was in the squad. But I think that I think more than likely that scenario was probably about Ravel. And of course, I am speculating. I don't know. But just based off of the premise of what he was saying and the thing that he was kind of talking about being like running, and the fact that I know that that's one of the big things that you hear when you talk about Ravel, the immediate response is, well, can he still cover the ground? So yeah, I think that Duklan, while he is a troll, every now and again, he's dead on. And I think right there, him referencing this is perfect because I think it's the truth. Won't lie, Lambert could have stayed and brought in Ravel. That's my honest opinion, I swear. Well, honestly, I think if Ravel was there, it wouldn't be for Lambert. That's my personal opinions. I think Lambert is needed. I think you need another bit of steel in the midfield. And I don't think that, you know, I don't want Hayden to play all the minutes in both games. Right? And so, you know, if anything happens, you just want to have somebody there that is fine playing that position, right? I know he's played center back a lot at club level, but you know, I think he can do the job there at number 6. It's the most balanced squad I have ever seen selected. Wow, I think we'd have to go back and really check squads, but of recent memory, it's very balanced. I think Al Grimson had some good squads as well, for a couple of windows that he was here. You know, McLaren, I think, always had a couple of head scratchers in there and also went too light in areas too often. But in terms of like at least having cover for positions, yes, it's very balanced. I will have to give it that. Up. What go on, Issa? Believe it's pretty balanced, said Float. I'm sure Hayden runs less and slower, but he plays a position that don't require that. Absolutely. You know, his job is really to almost, you know, diagnose problems and get to them before they become problems, right? So if he's doing that job correctly, he's not covering as much ground. You know, he's already kind of read the situation and gotten there before it's too late for him to run. Lambert is back up for Hayden. So if Ravel coming in, then another midfielder. Yes, Float, I agree totally. I wouldn't be removing Lambert to put Ravel. It would be, okay, we're not bringing Tyrese. We're not bringing Karoy Anderson. We're not bringing, where the other midfielders were brought, Andre Brooks, you know, someone else. And I just said 3 names. Don't start the conspiracy about Ravel for these players. I'm just saying. Tyrese Hall has a contract with an EPL club, but he's playing in League 2. He qualifies. Okay, so I guess those are the things, the gray area in the criteria that it wasn't really made specific. Yes, his parent club is in the EPL, but was he really saying that I want him to be getting the minutes in a top 20 league? You know, that's something that, you know, if I ever talk to Speed on here, I'll ask that specific question about the criteria. Well, he picked 8 players in every role, so yes, balancing number. There you go. Well, say you don't think the players themselves are well balanced though? Let me know. Why does it matter if you have a contract if you're not playing in that league? Yeah, Rob, that's what I'm trying to get clear on. Like, what I mean, I led it to when I hear the criteria and I read it, I'm led to believe it means playing in a top 20 league, not owned by a club in a top 20 league. You know, man say a stats you want, a stats you're gonna get. Sound like when IT department says cash and CPU, cause them think when I know say them a try give you a 6 for a 7. One in the building, bless up, you know, my G. You don't call Ravel to sprint, you call him to control the game. Yeah, well, the man said, I can control the game with running. That me I try tell you, Rob Smith. Brother Ravel, I put in my kind of stats. No, Duckland, honestly though, if we're talking about the average person that's untrained like yourself, right? And he gave a range of 15 to 24 kilometers, I would have you closer to the 15 kilometers. All right, boss? So that 26 that the player was running, him still running leave you by a long way. Running is not everything in football. That thinking is a large part of why football has gone downhill around the world, in my opinion. Ravel is technically excellent and very intelligent. Agreed. Ravel is not going to get a game because is he just say very opinionated. It's the most balanced squad we have picked in years for real. After the best players play the same roles, so not easy to pick a sensible, balanced team. Yeah, look, you have to leave out some players. So, you know, right back is still weak and no clinical striker. Yeah, so look, I think Nitro at the end of the day, you know, when we talk about a balanced team, you know, it's so because you're going into like are the actual spots strong enough, right? We're not even talking about that Nitro. We're just literally saying, do we have enough right backs? Do we have enough left backs? Do we have enough central midfield? Like that's what we're talking about. And we're saying, based on how we sometimes pick the team, this squad is balanced around the world. Sorry, I meant to say, yeah, I caught that one. Big up yourself, one Barca. Hopefully we're both celebrating, you know. But what I really want to happen, Conrad, you know, is for us to do the business in the next round of Champions League so we can book in the semi-finals, you know. The world want to see it. If we're not winning by 3 clear goals, it's hard to take off Hayden. Boy, battles. What you say? We're up 2-love in like the 70th minute. And you see Hayden number up and you see Lamberta come on and you start cuss. Brother, don't put man in the team and don't trust them, man. Play them. Why pick them then? Do we realize the coach is willing to win, lose, or draw without Ravel Morrison? Boy, one-stop driver. I think he's made his choice, you know. Speed select a squad to play fast transition, but DR Congo are also quick and athletic. They are. Man, I would still bring in Ravel. A speed alone play ball, it would be an advantage to have him. He can come and control the game. It's well balanced in my opinion, but weak in some areas, very strong in others. Have to play in a way that protects our weaknesses and master most of our strengths, as is always the case in football. That is true. Yeah, man, one always with some sensible discussion, you know. With Ravel, it's not ability or fitness, it's a personality thing. Yeah, look, but I don't think that can be understated, you know. Everybody that speaks to him recently all leave saying they don't understand how him get such a bad rap and everything, but look, I just feel like that must play into it, brothers. You know, it's something we always just bring up the football. And we know he's a great player. Everybody can see it. But there must be something why, you know, it just not working out for him in his career with certain things, you know. Yes, but leaving out one of the best midfielders Jamaica ever has a joke to me. Bro, I don't think any of the ones who've been selected can read the game like Ravel. We're always one injury away from absolute disaster. Hayden gets injured, the whole thing goes left. Honestly, rate Ravel, but do any of us know the level of the UAE second division? Bro, the UAE second division is it's like it is what it is, you know. It's the UAE second division. I mean, Ravel's level of play on a field transcend the league he's playing? To a lot of our fans, it does. You know, it doesn't matter where he's playing. I would pick Ravel up off of the corner league tomorrow and play him. That's how some fans think that follow Jamaica. I happen to be a little more balanced, right? Because I think that in times past, when I look at the midfield, we should have put Ravel in it because we didn't really have midfielders at all. Now this midfield, we're gonna go through it, but I think, you know, the elephant in the room, Daniel Johnson, yeah, again, not really looked at, and again, could be a sprints based non-selection, you know, because he's another player that doesn't really run a lot. That's a good question, right? So Dwight Merrick is in the team. He's a midfielder. And is the JPL better than the UAE second division? No. I know it's not the end all be all in the world, but when you look at the Opta league rankings, which I think was updated just the other day here in March, Jamaica Premier League currently is at 144 in the world. And I'm gonna see if I can find, because I had looked for it the other day, and up to the last time I looked, I was never able to locate the actual league that he's playing. All right, so this is Division 1. Okay, so I found Division 1 at 243. Let me make sure that this is actually UAE, because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Hold on there. Okay, that is, okay, so that is the United Arab Emirates flag. And where was it? Okay, so Division 1 is at 243. And that's not his league yet. So hold on. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. Yo, where is it? So, is it not here? So this go down to 447. I'm not seeing his league anywhere. Let me see if I can search. Okay, search by country, UAE. So that's in Asia, right? Division 1. Okay, so this must be it. So it's 269. It's 269 people. The Pro League is 66. Yeah, Pro League is 66. And Division 1 is 269. And let's see, is Division 2 even on here? I'm still looking for the second division. So yeah, it looks like his league is not even registered on this thing. So it has the UAE top league, and it has Division 1. It does not have Division 2 listed at all. The Pro League is at 66 in the world, so not too bad. So there you go. There's a 2 before. All right, 270 minus 1. The second criteria that applies to Hall is that he's playing regular minutes for his club. Speid also said that his pass completion rate in the opponent half is over 90%. Ravel is nowhere near the best midfield Jamaica has ever seen. Yeah, that was a big shout. Ravel League is not the issue. The issue is his mouth, Jano. Yeah, so statistically speaking, no, it's not actually. People will say that the JPL lower than every league in the world, but it's statistically not. I mean, according to Opta. I mean, I know that's not the end all be all, but I mean, Opta is the stats masters. Yo, Tapa meet the grandfather rule. Yeah, think he got 2 games in him for real. Other players cussing the media and demean their teammates and coaches publicly go out and party. Ravel can't get a call. Okay. Yeah, so that should dispel any kind of thing about his behavior, because he's right. That would be a crazy double standard. They are fight against the dread. DJ and Ravel are in the departure lounge. Let me go into retirement in peace. They say them done. 144. They make it sound like top 20 league. Is one? Did I say 144? I think it's 143. Let me look. Yeah, it's 144. 144. Bless up, Jagons. Speid wants the team to be step for step with Congo in all areas of the field, especially after that. Yo, respect them all for the membership, you know. Big up yourself every time, G. From what I've watched, Ravel League is quite poor, but is the JPL better overall? I don't know, but probably not. Mount Pleasant will probably have a great chance to win that league, though. Yeah, I think they would, actually. The persons who ask questions at the pressers need to get to the point quicker and also stop leading the way. Yeah. I had one, literally. I had a show talking about the press conference saying I wouldn't be able to be there. And I was like, first and foremost, I'm not the master of asking questions. And I've had my times when I look back and say I hated my question or whatever. But what I think we all do, and I do it sometimes as well, is, you need to shorten your lead into the actual question. You don't need to have a soliloquy before you ask a question, because I think sometimes it's almost as if we give the person the answers when we really need to just ask and shut up, So yeah, they won't. It's not independently thought of. You make them answer it a certain way if you talk too much. I believe if Speid had taken over the team from the Gold Cup, we would have been way ahead of this playoff by now. Okay, interesting, Jack Drummond. Interesting. People still are talk about Ravel. It never going to stop. But is the JPL better? I mean, both leagues are not that good, if we're being honest. JPL ain't that good, and the UAE second league ain't that good either. Yeah, I've watched games in both of them, and I mean, the pace of play is too slow. The intensity is too low. It's too much. There's too many breaks in action, like in terms of like intensity breaks. It's not a top league. Neither one of them. 31 likes, yo. Bad man, no bad man, no man. Come on. 31 likes is horrible, man. Smash up the like button, man. Ravel's problem is his attitude. I don't know. Would you say that Stop leading. Stop being wordy. Sounds clumsy and professional and waste time. Enough more question could I go through. That too. All that too. If you want to see Ravel, him side play tomorrow, LOL. There you go. For me, Ravel is the best midfielder I have seen in a Jamaica shirt, but maybe some have been watching longer than me. If you don't meet the top 20 or first league rule, how do you get to the playing every week league? So JPL is ranked higher than the league Ravel currently plays. Wow. Yeah. On Opta's list. After 98 team, Ravel is the best midfielder. Okay. I'm not sure it is anymore. I think he's talking about his attitude. Some players, he has been here for a long time. Some players in our squad don't like being told to keep it simple, even though that's all they are good enough to do. So they sulk. Jamaicans who think Ravel is world class are delusional. You know, I'm going to tease them locals. 144 ranked team in the world. League. But yeah, JPL fits the criteria of top league in Jamaica. Coach give 1 million openings to get in. Yeah, top league. Now, I do think, honestly, if Ravel was in the UAE Pro League, I think then, you know, I think he probably would have a much better chance, personally. Jano Star. Why you always call the man Nutcase Travis? Oh, I'm to you, brother. Sure. Tapa played in a better team, so he had a better chance to play well. Ravel has played out of position in a dog shit team, but still, the class is clear to me. He has been levels above everyone. That's what one thinks. And Ravel, that boy wasted his talent and it's very sad. How do you go from Manchester United to UAE second tier? Well, BM, there's a lot of in between before the UAE second tier, you know, so it's kind of disingenuous of you to say Manchester United and then that. Because there's a lot of things that happen after that. Ravel would have been one of the best midfielder in the world if his discipline was right or had someone solid in his corner. Yeah, man just like the road a bit too much, not even going out, but just like powering on road. The UAE Second Division League. And I'm just saying that because I heard him say it in an interview, you know. I'm not like just making that up. The UAE Second Division League, third tier in the country, is actually a step above the Jamaica Premier League in structure and resources, but still low globally. Okay, fair enough. I can't agree. Tapa have played with bad players. People forget Tapa was class. Tapa was a good player still. Speed said that Dwight Merrick did very well in the last two JA games. JPL players qualify because they're playing in the top league in their country. Don't be surprised if we see first half substitution. Speed, don't joke. I hope that don't happen, because that means when I play well. He definitely did and must take responsibility, but it's not all his fault. Some people sabotage him and he has struggled to recover from that early tarnish, which was not all his own doing. Might as well Ravel to go Mount Pleasant or on it. Yeah, it wasn't that far from happening. Just the demands of wage was just not feasible. Tapa was very good, but we were better then. Since Ravel has come, and for a while before that, we have been absolutely terrible. What we think of JU, good or okay? Jermaine U was good. He was good. He was good. He could pick a pass, deadly left foot. Did he fulfill the entire potential? Probably not. And that's probably where I would take off points. But he was a good player, though, for sure. Was not a bad player at all. He'd still find a way to exclude Ravel. Ravella enjoy his retirement in that league. Yeah, man. Man, I'm making money, brother. Man, I'm making money. Big up yourself, Chili. Red Skull say they hide. I tell him say that's a bill. Hugh was better for Jamaica than Ravel. Yeah, did it for longer. Money and lifestyle in that league versus Jamaica. Ooh, I think that's where Opta would have to change the rankings around. Jamaica gave Ravel a golden opportunity at 27 to turn his career around, and he didn't take full advantage. At some point, the player has to look himself in the mirror. Well, just had a long discussion with the chat, but I saw the show go some of the time, you know. I feel let the chat get in some chat.
The list. Goalkeepers, we have Blake Knight and Wheat.
Blake Knight Wheat.
Defenders, Ronaldo Webster, Bell, Pinnock, Lowe.
Up Jeremy
Richard
Lee.
King, Joel Latibodier, Ian Frey, and Kyle Ming. Midfielders, Isaac Hayden, Kevin Lambert, Karen Anderson, Tyrese Hall, Andre Brooks, Casey Palmer, Bobby Reed, Bobby DeCardova Reed, Dwight Merrick, and
I would definitely recommend TurboTax.
You would?
forwards. Sorry. Richard King, Joel Latibodier, Ian Frey, and Kyle Ming.
May I check something?
Midfielders, Isaac Hayden, Kevin Lambert, Karen Anderson, Tyrese Hall, Andre Brooks, Casey Palmer, Bobby Reed, Bobby DeCardova Reed, Dwight Merrick, and where's my forwards? Sorry. Forwards, Bailey, Adamateri.
Bless up my cousin. Love you.
Demarai Gray, Ronaldo Cephas, Leon Bailey, Tyrese Campbell, and Norman Campbell. That is the squad. We have 3 new faces. Tyrese Hall, Andre Brooks, and Mason Clark. At this level, we'd have picked also well, he has played for Jamaica before, so I wouldn't bother to say what his name was. And so that's it. That's the official squad that we have at this moment. Well, he has played for Jamaica before, so Mason Clark. At this level, we'd have picked also well, he has played for Jamaica before, so I wouldn't bother to say what his name was. And so that's it. That's the official squad that we have at this moment. There is, however, the squad is not final, for the simple reason that players are playing this weekend. Anything can happen. I hope all of them are safe. But I mean, of course, we can make adjustment to the squad up to about 44 hours before the first game. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Speid. Much appreciated there. As you notice behind Gregory, there's a microphone. So members of the media that have questions, one you're indicated, then you can use the microphone that is located directly in front of me to pose your question, not just stand up and speak, but you use the microphone that is there so that we can hear what you're saying. Thank you very much.
Just to add that players will arrive for camp on the 22nd and will leave Jamaica on the 23rd, depart to Mexico. So that's additional information.
All right, Jamal, you would like to start?
The hell?
Morning, Coach. Jamal Tucker from 876 Stream. You made a big point about the process that went into picking these players.
All right, hold on. Before we move on. We say no turbo tax for real. I don't depend that neither. Do my own a damn tax. All right. Mr. Franchise Music asks a question. What are your thoughts on other midfield selections that were or were not selected? All right. So look, just if we're going to look at the midfield, right? Let's have a discussion about the midfield. Hold on. Where am I? There I am. All right. So the midfield, right? So the midfield is listed. Isaac Hayden, Kevin Lambert, Karai Anderson, Tyrese Hall, Casey Palmer, Andre Brooks, Leon Bailey, Bobby Reed, Dwight Merrick. All right. So we know that first of all, we know it's a 27-man squad. So when we go into these 2 games, is it that all these guys aren't going to travel? Is it that he's going to select a final 24, 26? I don't know. But I would think that he's probably going to take all 27 with him if they're all fit and available after the weekend. because it's 2 games, 26 and 31st. You have the ability to name a different 23, I believe, each game. So some people that travel won't get a shirt on match day, and that's just how it will run. But for the midfielders, right? Hayden, Lambert, Anderson, Hall, Palmer, Brooks, Bailey, Bobby Reed, Dwight, Merrick. One interesting thing that I will say, typically in these squads, Leon Bailey is listed as a forward. Is that done on purpose? Are they trying to tell us something? We heard the idea floating around on YouTube from the various content creators. And I must say, right, we had a show and I asked about the league squad, how close to the real squad is it going to be? And it was pretty damn close, to be honest. It was almost the same. So we heard them mention that Leon Bailey could play a more attacking midfield role, a little more central role, maybe even a false 9 role. But I'm wondering, with him being listed as a midfielder, they're telling us something. You know, we don't plan to use him on the wing this time. We plan to use him a little more central. Maybe a little more creativity they're looking for from Leon Bailey, more as the explosion, which I don't think is a bad idea, because we see when he comes on for Aston Villa lately, hasn't been starting much. And I think at this current moment, like right now, today, if we're going to play him wide, it would have to be as an impact sub. Maybe the demands and the different amount of sprints and the actions that it takes to get free on the wing, maybe playing a little more central, he can play off players more and not be so isolated. That could help him. That could help him to last longer in the game. Who knows? But I think the fact that he's listed as a midfielder is telling, right? Now, one thing, and the reason why I like the balance, and I keep saying balance in this team franchise, is because so often we're going with Hayden and a bunch of number 10s that they tell us can play 8 and 6, right? I'm talking about Casey Palmer, Bobby Reed, to a lesser extent, Karai Anderson, because I do think he's more of a, 3-level, what I call a 3-level midfielder, right? Where he can play deeper in the midfield, he can play box to box, and he can also play a little more attacking. Now, Karai Anderson in the traditional sense might not be the number 10 that has all of this flair, but I think he's a good arrival into the box, and he has shown in his loan spell right now that he has the ability to score with his head, with his feet. And of course, you're going to get a lot of work rate and defensive work rate from that position. So as an option in the head of the midfield, if you're looking to really suffocate a team and pressure them and press them, Karai Anderson could work in a role like that, right? But typically for Jamaica, we know he plays deeper in the pitch. So right now, when I look at the midfield, I love the fact that we have a Hayden, a Lambert, and an Anderson. If we want a deep line, ball handling type of option, Karai would fit that option. Hayden is kind of the Swiss Army knife of them, right? He can sit and hold the ball and distribute the ball and, dictate play from deeper in the midfield, and he's going to break up play. And of course, Kevin Lambert, his true superpower in that number 6 role is breaking up play, right? So if we want a destroyer in there, somebody to really plug those gaps, stay in tune with that back line and just be that foil, that shield, we know Lambert can do that job. So I love the fact that we have options, right? We're in a game and we know that, okay, we have a lot of possession in the game. Maybe we don't need that full defensive shield in front, and we really need a playmaking player in this role now, or a ball handling player. Tyrese Hall, I think, the fact that he got loaned away from Tottenham to League Two, I don't mind, because I think if he was in Tottenham's team, which is kind of crazy because Tottenham is terrible right now, right? And maybe because they're in a relegation fight, they don't really have the chance to let a player like Tyrese Hall get blooded in the Premier League. But to be honest, with the amount of injuries they have, I'm surprised he wasn't considered for a recall. I know I heard a lot of fan blog pages mentioning him getting recalled, but nothing official from the club itself. But if you look at Tyrese Hall and his history as a player, he has quite a few games in that number 6 double pivot role. More recently, since he's gone to League Two, he's playing much more of a number 10 role. But I think his future probably lies in a box-to-box number 8 type of role. And I think that's what he would be brought into this team to do. Someone that can be that link from defense to attack. And I think, he's definitely, when we were first looking at him, I always looked at him and thought, he still looks like a youth player. When you see him playing this season for Notts County, you can tell that he's kind of had another year of growth, another year of development. And, he's looking much less like an academy player, much more like a professional. So I think the time would be okay at this point. He's kind of had some growth and development, not only mentally and with the football itself, but also just physically, right? So I think he's more ready for the international game right now than he would have been maybe when we first were talking about him. Casey Palmer, some people said the move down wasn't the best, which at face value, I agree totally. But one thing I will tell you is that Casey Palmer is a confidence player. And since he's gone to Luton Town, Jack Wilshere has just given him all the confidence in the world. You hear him talk about this player, he's saying him don't understand how he was so lucky to get a player like him at the situation where he's at now in League One and how dominant he can be. And he has pretty much been dominant, really bossing the midfield for them. We've seen him play all levels of this midfield under Jack Wilshere so far. But, I think he has his best success when he's closer to the front line. But we'll have to wait and see if Mr. Speid agrees with me on that. Andre Brooks, predominantly playing winger for Sheffield United, but throughout his career has played numerous positions: central midfield, right midfield, left wing, right wing, attacking midfield, box to box. The only thing I haven't seen him play is number 6, right? So hopefully, if we play any kind of 4-2-3-1 system with a double pivot, my hope is that we don't throw up Andre Brooks there just because we know he has immense work rate. Let's not force players to do roles that maybe isn't the best for them. But let's see. We have a lot of players vying for that right-hand side. So I think that with the midfield needing help, I could see Brooks playing more as an attacking midfielder. Maybe a box-to-box, but I would love to see him playing attacking midfield, not necessarily a number 8. Leon Bailey listed as a midfielder we spoke about. Bobby Reid has been starting since he came back from injury at Leicester in the number 10 position, sometimes on the right, but mainly in the number 10 role. So, pretty much fits the criteria, top 20 league, playing minutes. So, yeah, it makes sense. And then Dwight Merrick, JPL selection. Mobile United having a really good season, I think 11 goals, 5 assists, something like that. But my thing with Merrick is with all these midfielders leaning on the attacking side, Dwight Merrick also playing more of an attacking midfielder. But lately, I've seen him playing much more number 8 for Mobile. Started out the season really close to the attackers. I think over time, he has gradually worked his way more into a box-to-box role. So, maybe that's what he was selected to play, but we shall wait and see. The midfield, though, when I look at it and I say who's not selected, I still think Daniel Johnson has a place in the team. I think the same reason why people want Ravel in the team, Daniel Johnson can do those things for you. And he's playing in the Turkish Super League. So, his minutes has gone down. He had an injury in February, which maybe Speid could have looked at and say, if I'm getting Daniel Johnson, I need him to be rearing to go and firing. And I don't believe he'd be getting that version of him right now. So timing didn't really work with him this go around. But that's the one that I'm looking at and saying, okay, if you want that skill set to kind of keep the football just a little bit of level-headedness and calmness in that midfield, then I think Daniel Johnson could do that. And he's been tested week in, week out at a higher level for sure than Ravel. So, that's really the one glaring one, I would say. I'm trying to think, is there another midfielder that I was kind of shocked about? Well, you can look at it and say Jonathan Russell. Got loaned to Mansfield, playing more regularly now. Had a good showing against Arsenal in the FA Cup the other day. scoring a few goals here and there with his new team as well. And for sure, you know, League One, I would think. And if Opta don't agree with this one, then I don't know. So Premier League is 144. Let's see where League One is. That's where Russell played. First one. English League 2 is 77. Damn. English League 1 in the top 50. Wow. English League 1, they are 43. That's crazy. Yeah, so yo, John Russell. Again, that's probably a running metric thing. Sprints and how fast. You know, so yeah. John Russell I get picked, but I wouldn't be picking Merrick over Russell, to be honest. I mean, John Russell is better than Dwight Merrick. I'm sorry. You know, but I think John Russell not being in the team, and I think Russell was on a red card as well, so he would be sitting out the first day. And I know Fraser in the team, who I believe is on yellow card suspension for the first game. So maybe you didn't want to have too many of those players where you know you're not going to have them for about the second game only. But yeah, look, the one I would say I would put DJ in the team. I feel like we do need that person that will just get on the ball and not afraid to get on the ball and keep the ball. We don't really have that playing in the midfield per se. I mean, I think if they gave Hayden the ball more, he could do that. But for whatever reason, we have this thing against the number 6 when him show for the ball. So Dre, break it down here. So world-class talent, poor discipline, underachieved career, talent, elite top Premier League ability, problem, consistency, and off-field issues, outcome, never reaches full potential, simple verdict, gifted player who didn't maximize it. Okay, we saw that already. Love you more, love you back. Nah, man, we check which taxes, man. I don't owe the tax man $1. Take care and pay my debts. Where's Mason Greenwood? Not picked for England or Jamaica. Well, I believe Mason Greenwood is chilling with his family, probably. Well, he'll probably have match this weekend, but after that, he'll be chilling. Facts. He's been disciplined for a long time, though. His coaches and fellow players have said he has been an advisor to young players and the first to train and last to leave. That is true. I honestly don't like Low as striker. Never looked good for us in that role. I'm trying to remember, did he ever play striker for us, really? I remember him playing striker against USA the first time we saw him, and he scored. And then after that, he never really played striker. He played off the left. In a 4-4-2, he wouldn't be one of the two. He would be playing one of the sides. No, I think it might have been, was it McLaren first game? No, play Cuba. We draw 0-0 and him actually play good in that game, but just missed too much chance. So the people kill him. Seriously, maybe Ravel has issues that requires meds. Top English clubs try with him as well. Chances after chances. He's not really a striker, but can do a job there, and he's match fit, unlike most who has looked good as a striker for us. We create nothing and provide no service at all. Don't think we are creative enough to play him as a false 9. Yeah, that's true. How Merrick get picked over Ellis? Because him have better stats. I mean, Bashi score less goal, have less assists this season. And Merrick is a much better off-the-ball player from what I have seen of them both. You know, I could be wrong. Bashi definitely have the hype, but I think Merrick have the substance, which is what we should be after more. That's an Era Bailey being listed as a midfielder. He will be a winger. Okay, Float, let's see. I will keep hearing people talk about it. True, if we play the way we have been, but if we have a better team shape and pick a sensible 11 with sensible tactics, everything could be different. We have enough attacking ability, in my opinion. Speid said Bailey is not listed as a midfielder on his list. Oh, okay. So the man them changed Speid list. Yo, the man's supposed to vex. So hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So they don't want 8, 8, 8, and 3. All right. The man they mess up him balance, you know. Okay, well that's okay then. So Bailey will be a winger, people. No need to worry about that. He's not much fit and he's definitely lazy. Can't afford that. We ain't good enough to carry defensively. Use Bailey the same way all his other clubs have played him, coming off the bench. Agreed. I think so. You let him play for the last 20 minutes, bro. Play Chippy right when I get him the ball in the final third instead of half line, like we do now. You give too much trouble on YouTube. Low Starboy Bailey here, sir. The whole team has to work hard. Why? For us to have any chance of beating DR Congo if we make it that far. Jaja. With the selection of the coach, will it be more suitable for Case to play the advanced role with Hayden and Lambert or Hayden and Anderson? Yeah, look, I feel like I want to see Casey Palmer play closer to the thing. But here's the problem, franchise. We have Casey Palmer, we have Andre Brooks, we have Bobby Reed, and potentially Leon Bailey. Because we hear the coach say he might try him as an attacking midfielder. Well, not the coach, but we heard rumors that they're thinking of maybe doing that. So I would probably go with a Hayden and Anderson, if that's the case. I wouldn't go Hayden Lambert, not at least not in the New Caledonia game. I might consider it in the Congo game, but even then, I might not want the balance to be so heavy. And also, instead of going double pivot, looking at the defenders, I have the option to do the back three. You know, because who knows? Maybe the coach sees Andre Brooks as like an inverted right wing back type of thing, because he has played that position before. In fact, when he was in the Premier League as a youngster, he would come on and play, left wing back or right wing back. That was something that he used to do. So, could it be Webster comfortable in a back three, playing that wide wing back / midfielder role? Amari Bell's been playing a back three from time to time this season with no Latibo there is well versed in it. Pinnock, not playing period as much, but he's played back three many times before. So, it could be that could be that it depends on a few things still. Depends on a few things. But me personally, if it was up to me, I would play Casey higher pitch. And my pivot would be, Hayden Hall, Hayden Anderson, more than likely. And then the second game is when I might consider the Hayden Lambert. If we get there. If we're going to do that, we have to structure the team to make up for its lack of defensive work rate. We can do that and have success, but I wouldn't. How can we see that a relegation team might not have time to blood in a player, but we can't see that for Whisper? How can we see that a relegation team might not have time to blood in a player, but we can't see that for Whisper? Oh, I mean, I don't think people not seeing it. I don't think people not seeing it. No, I'm actually Rob Smith. When I made the comment about Tyrese Hall and Tottenham, I'm actually beating Tottenham, because I'm saying what are you doing? Like, don't have the players, but you have midfielders that could probably play and contribute in your team right now, out on loan, and you not get them. Like, why? Why would you do that? What is Speid's tactic defensively for Cavalier? I hope that we will not sit back in a mid-block versus New Caledonia. We need to be aggressive on the front foot. No, I wouldn't say Cavalier is a sit-back team per se. I think they do try to win the ball in the other team's half. But yeah, there comes a time when if they get breached, that they do kind of get into some kind of mid block, right? Now the hope is against New Caledonia that he'll be so on the front foot that the mid block, that transition to a mid block never happens, and we just continue to try to win the ball, right? But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, a Cavalier, he doesn't mind not playing with the ball. He'll tell you that he can play anyway. But I think his default setting, what he turns to the most from what I've seen, is try to win the ball in the attacking third, in the defensive third of the team. If they breach that first line and they do get it into that middle third, then they gradually kind of drop into some kind of block with a very tight defensive shape. And then once they get into that shape, typically Cavalier teams will, when they win the ball, no matter where from that shape it is, they have a couple of triggers that they go to, and once the ball gets there, expect that diagonal to one of the wings. Yeah, so that's probably what we'll see. Now against New Caledonia, it's gonna have to be a little more intricate, because I would expect New Caledonia to give us some respect, and they might be the ones dropping into that block type of shape. So that's what I want to see them have to encounter and tackle. But at least when I look into the team and I see some of the creativity, I think we might be able to at least have some players that can unlock certain situations like that. They have young players starting. He does not work hard enough defensively, in my opinion. In a relegation fight, cannot carry a man defensively. Right now, the other wingers are better too. Merrick not getting any game. The three new guys will be capped. Yeah, probably not. John Russell, yeah, that's who I would say. I mean, he has scored some goals for us. People saying don't give us enough in the run of play, which I could hear that argument, right? I think sometimes he got a red card, so he would be out for the first game. Young kids got a chance with a new coach coming that changed. He even benched the kid from City a few times. No, well, the kid from City got benched because Bobby Reed came back. Remember, Bobby got a red card, so he was out. And then I think when he came back, or the game he was out, the kid went crazy. But now Bobby is back, so he benched the kid again. DJ Nana Manners, them done with him like Ravel. Yeah, man, DJ is outspoken. Let's just say that. Even if you talk sense, sometimes it's not well received. To score some important goals for us. I don't believe in keeping the football for the sake of it. I believe in playing forward as quickly as you can. Teams that keep it for the sake of it and play slowly struggle to break teams down. DJ is not coming back. Yeah, I don't think so either. Just feels like DJ ain't getting back in. Russell card out, yep. John Russell is a red card issue. Russell suspended. Russell is a maybe. Russell is only good in the attacking half. Them have manners. I wonder who is them. I read his 2 games. Mad. I thought it was like second yellow. So isn't it 1? Because he got 2 yellows in. It wasn't a straight red. So yeah, I guess 2 yellows is 2 games, I guess. Yeah, DJ, bro. Yeah. 1-1. I remember, bro. Every time, I don't think you've ever said, I think one time, like you were cussing him and he did something good, and you're like, well, that won't happen again or something. I was like, damn, this man just don't think Russell is good at all. Because he got a straight red after the final whistle of the game. That's a serious offense for the game, not too much, man. What match? I've never seen it, For you, always an overseas born player is better than a JPL player. From one is name in the squad. Yeah, I mean, but so Travis, you're gonna kill me because I think the player them better, brother. So all right, it's almost like at this point I have to just say that Merrick being in the team is okay because he's a JPL player. So everything goes out the window at that point. And then if I say the player better, then you said to me, well, it's not because you think the player better, just because he don't play at Jamaica anymore or him don't born at Jamaica or whatever. And no, like, I mean, if I thought Merrick was better than DJ, then I wouldn't say that. I don't think Merrick is better than DJ. Russell have a lot of weakness, guys. What if we play a 4-3-3 flat and play Brooks Hayden and Casey Palmer, something like that in the midfield, and play Clark on the left wing and Bailey on the right? Boy, hot skull. Nobody know. Mason Greenwood would only consider coming after we qualify. Damn. Greenwood is not here, so let us move on, folks. Yeah, no, I haven't brought him up. I wasn't planning on it, to be honest. Brooks is here a midfielder? Yes, he is a midfielder. He's a midfielder, an all-purpose one. Swiss Army knife. Manchester requested meds for Ravel and EPL denied it because it's banned for athletes. What? So Bailey on board thought such guy was gonna try blackmail Jamaica again. Hey, I never realized that the man never called Bailey name in the whole thing. As long as Speed find a system that suits the players he selected, he stand a chance. Lowe's debut against USA 5 years ago, he was doing well in the championship. I even thought he could play in the EPL. He has been a steady decline since. We are tell for lift up now. Jeremy Lee, how him do? Oh, three my tell you for move on. One baller. Cut the foolishness. This is not Villa or Roma. We only have one top 5 league, Europa League attacker. He ain't coming off the bench. Yo, but the man cannot play the full game anymore. Rob Smith, he don't have, the man fitness is not good. You guys don't see that. You don't want to get the best out of the player. Just trust me, I'm not disrespecting the man. I'm just telling you, what we're going to get the best out of him is if we give him the last 20 to 30 minutes for play. I promise you. As long as Speed find a system that suit the players he selected, he stand a chance. Oh, yeah, I said the man love too much system football. Real ball, I want peace for rain in that chat, I hope cats get on. I strongly believe cutting his flow, he was on help mess up our regular time campaign with Cephas and Tyrese. That's not fair. I think he has a lot of ability. True, he's new to pro football. He will have to work out the right attitude and learn to integrate well with teammates, but he has ability. Cavaliers a woof team. Yeah, man, they move it, yes. I'm more terrified of Fred than Low. All I will say one is I see some method to the woofing. Like I said, when I was talking about how they play, like they do have certain triggers that I see where I can kind of tell them looking to play that ball soon. You know what I'm saying? So at least them have like something that the players look for to make that movement. So there's a method to it at least. But yes, it is some woofing going on. I'm more terrified of Frey than Low. Frame like the walking red I was accused Low of being. Yeah, he goes into tackles, and he seems to. I never realized this when he's playing for in the MLS, but he plays on the edge in terms of getting into it with players, his opponents and stuff. He was doing that constantly playing for us. Speed same Coley, other assistant pick the team, not him alone. Yeah, me stop listen to the damn thing, you know. Ian Frey is overrated. I don't believe he's that good. Okay, fair enough. I think he has his issues at right back. If I'm being totally honest, I don't think he loves pace. You know, but I think he'll move more central as his career goes. I don't see him as a wide player. So whether that's centre back or central midfield, I'm not sure where it's going to pan out to. But I think isolating him wide might not be the best thing. Cavaliers can go get it team, one of the worst of the top teams in the league. Any day MPR Mabe get them on a good field, Cavalier head back gone. Coach said Cavaliers is not a template for the nation T style of play. National team style of play. Furthermore, he added that he has a better side referring to the national setup. That's true. Now, this is a comment I can agree with right here. Big up yourself, campus. I agree, Rudolph Smith. Shit, okay, I'm in a convo. Same system make football play like robots. Not fun in the game like back in the 90s to 2000. Who's the biggest what, Charles? Yo, Travis, the man no call down, no call up, brother. Tap it, man. It's not who is better. The coach choose a player he wants, so he choose a JPL player. Yeah. But listen, I can. All right. Me saying that me think a player could have make it over Merrick. Nah, go change the price of rice, you know. It's just my opinion, brother. That's all. And I actually think all right, here's what I will say about Merrick's inclusion. Because I was asked this earlier today. I'm saying, okay, if we're gonna put a JPL midfielder in it, do you agree with Merrick being that midfielder? And I said yes. I do. So, because that's something I beat the JFF about, and the coaches a lot, you know. When them picking players locally, I always think that they don't pick the right ones. But Merrick is actually one that I like. It's a good player. They don't want to move it anyway, but it's awful football. Yeah, look, does it make sense to play a passing game on Stadium East Field? Probably not. I mean, the ball not going to really roll. They say he's a psycho. You know, as a wordsmith, you try to, you know, where say just say it brawling, he's a psycho. Hot skull. Yeah, man, him hot-headed, man. Gray is the biggest snub to me. Yeah. That's a mad one. All right, so since I kind of broke down the midfield because franchise asked me, now let me get back to this screen real quick. And I want to look at the defenders. So we have two left backs, Ronaldo Webster and Amari Bell. And I use the term left back for Amari Bell loosely. I know he can play there still, but I think he's a centre back at this point. Richard King, Damian Lowe, Ethan Pinnock, Joel Latibo there. I think those would be the centre backs, right? 4 centre backs. Ian Frey and Kyle Ming as the right backs. Now, Ian Frey suspended for the first game due to yellow card accumulation. So the first question is for New Caledonia people, and I'm gonna pull up the tactical board right after this because we're gonna try to put some players on the team sheet and just try to pick a squad for the first game, right? But Joel Latibo there, Ian Frey, Kyle Ming. I've heard a lot of things being said about who's gonna play right back for the first game. How is he gonna work that out? Frey is unavailable for the first game. Okay. So we know Joel can play over there. We know Kyle Ming in the past when Carver Jamaica has played there. I see Kyle Ming as a centre back. That's where I see him playing the most. I know at Cavalier at one point he was, but honestly, they would like form a 3 at the back and he would be on the right side of a 3. So it still was more of a centre back. So, you know, Kyle Ming, even when he was playing the Unity Cup, if you look at his appearance there, a couple of those attacks late that caused us some trouble is mainly because Kyle Ming is literally playing as a third centre back when we're not playing a back 3. And he's just not staying wide enough in the defensive shape. I always wanted to come in and be a third centre back. So that's one thing I say positionally, if he's going to play there, at least play there. You know, don't come and form an extra partnership with the centre back. keep the width defensively and offensively if we have the ball. But yeah, 2, 2, 2, 4, and 2. So the balance is there. My only argument is Amari Bell is kind of a left center back / left back at this point, and Ronaldo Webster is a left back / left wing back. So neither one of them in a back four system really solidify to me that left back area. No, I agree, Travis, and that's what I said. I said it's nice, it's a good balance. I like the squad. Obviously, this is a reaction, so it's gonna have some nitpicking going on. So when I nitpick it, yes, I can nitpick it and pick apart a few things, one of which we're gonna talk about right now. So I know Travis is gonna take this to mean I hate every JPL player with a passion, but for the life of me, I don't understand how you have a right back in Ian Frey that is out for the first game. Joel Latibo there, in my estimation, should be playing centre back, right? And you have Kyle Ming as the other option, knowing that you don't have a right back for the first game. So my question is is everybody comfortable with Kyle Ming starting against New Caledonia? Because I think that's probably what's going to happen, But at the same time, it could be Joel playing over there as well, or it could be a back three. But you can't tell me that Tavon Gray is not one of the 2 best right backs currently available to be selected. And people are going to say, oh gosh, man, Tavon Gray, him not good, this and that. Brother, all right. So the last time Tavon Gray played for Jamaica, Zine, I'm going to tell you exactly when it was. Because the man balling out already in this season. 7.1, 7.9, 8.2. Goal and assist already in 4 games. Almost full 90 every 4. Lowest score was the last game in play. It was a 3-1 win over Colorado and get a 6.6. But what I want to show you is the last time in play for Jamaica. Made his debut September 2023 at the age of 20, actually. That's how young this guy is. All right, so let's see. All right, so it looks like the last time he played for Jamaica so he didn't get called throughout any other window. November, October, September. I think the last time he would have played for us was in the Nations League second leg game where we lost 4-2. He played 60 minutes, started at right back that day. And people, let me tell you something. You see this day? The man them left him to die on that right-hand side. So remember, if you remember this game, the way how USA kill we, and this idiot McLaren never do anything about it. So it was Bailey in front of Tavon Gray directly. And Tyreek McGee was playing number 10 and was drifting out to the right as well. So it's 2 dopey back him have on his side of the field to protect him. See? And all Anthony Robinson was doing was saying, okay, Bailey, you're now going to track me. I'm going to run, invert, and leave the wing for Weah and Pulisic to drift out there as well. And then go for kill Tavon Gray with overload, brother. And would you think Maggie or Bailey pick up the rake and just go back there? No, neither one of them. So them see Tavon Gray stats for the game, 5.9, we get 4-2, all of this, and it's not good. And it turns into him never play good for Jamaica yet. Him not look ready. I mean, all these things. And I'm like, bro, I don't get it, man. I don't know. And then and what ends up happening now, I said that, people will say, oh, if that wasn't that type of player, you wouldn't have put any kind of emphasis on who play in front of him and who was giving him coverage. Just what I said, them not good. It's just like, no, actually, I wouldn't. Because honestly, the time before that USA game, he had his best game ever for us. And it was an away game at Nicaragua. We won 2-0. He started at right back and played the whole game. And interestingly enough, in this game, it was Tyreek Magee playing on his right in front of him. But I tell you what a huge difference in this game was. The double pivot was Karai Anderson and Joel Latibo there. And because they were playing that way, at all times, either Lati or Anderson was kind of covering. And another reason why it was different is it wasn't Bailey and Magee. This time, it was Bobby Reed and Magee. So, you know, Bobby was dropping down as well and giving that extra protection. So, Tavon Gray, the man have 7.3s for Jamaica. Him have 6.8s for Jamaica, 7.2. And, you know, people just focus on the last time he played versus the USA. He also had one really poor game in the stadium. I want to say it was a 0-0 game versus Honduras, you know. And yes, he didn't play well in that game, I can admit. But too often, we just dash with the player them. We just dash with the damn player them in a sense. So we're going to disregard the fact that he's been on a tear in form. He's 23 years old. So not for a second did we think in 2024 when he was still 21, maybe he just needed a little more seasoning, just a little more experience, just to be able to really settle into himself as an international. No, he has been scarred. I heard some off the record things that brother, Mayor said the man them say, no man, couldn't pick Tavon Gray because, you know, Jamaica fans would have just lose it. So when a man want to say, you know, something that hold back Jamaica football are the fans them, you know. Can we really say that that person is wrong? If off the record, if the coach can make a statement and say him wouldn't do something because him know how that would have made the Jamaica fans them feel, then that right there just goes to show there must have been selections in the past that weren't based on football. They were just based on how will this make our fans feel. So we can't blame fans then if something not go right, because the coach them and the selector them upon that to what the fans them feel. So I found that very, very interesting. And I think whoever said that the biggest omission is Tavon Gray, I would have to agree. Because when you look at what the man has been doing, playing, I mean, obviously it's a very early start to the season in MLS. And that could have been a part of the reasoning. You know, he's only four league matches under his belt from February 22 to now. But I mean, you know, he started out the season really well. And I hope that this is not one that we end up regretting, you know. Because when I asked about him, all he said was there are two players in his position we thought were better. And those players would be Ian Frey and Kyle Ming, which I don't think I can argue that either one of them are better than Tavon Gray right now, to be honest. All right, so Jay said Chat GPT side versus New Caledonia, and he told him this: Andre Blake, Joel Latibo, Ethan Pinnock, Damian Lowe, Amari Bell, Isaac Hayden, Casey Palmer, Bobby DeCortova, Reed, Leon Bailey, Damari Gray, and Ephraim Mason Clark. Wow. Things that players should know at international level, most of the Jamaica-born players don't seem to understand, and many who think with bad mind when we mention it don't want to get it. Maybe unpopular opinion, but Webster was a very good server of crosses, maybe even the best server of corners in the qualifying games. Very troublesome crosses. Yeah, he had that assist from a corner. I think he had a few other dangerous corners as well. So good spot there. I had one. That's what that was Chat GPT. Oh wait. Okay, yeah, you just put it again. All right, cool. Webster should start. Amari Bell next to Pinnock. Don't want to see that. That left side. Tavon Gray not good, bro. Don't be biased. Not tell me him play good for New York City in MLS now. I mean, yeah. What else would I have to tell you? If I'm gonna analyze the football, I can't disregard how the man playing football. That Travis, everything that I say is based on what I see them do playing, you know. I mean, you can disagree with what I think of the player, but how else must I tell you that him good? Him literally play football for New York City FC. So if he's good, where else would he be good? It must be there. Let's say Mason Clark for start. Mad. All right, Travis 11 is Blake, Ming, King, Lati, Bell, Hayden, Bobby, Palmer, Cephas, Gray, Bailey. All right. 4-3-3. Gray and good in my opinion, but he's starting regularly in MLS, and it's not even about if he's good or not. It's about he's better than any other people picked instead of him, and a great argument can be made. Exactly. Forgot to say earlier, my boy Campbell Dennis got a full 91st professional debut. Yeah, he did. He did. Toronto FC too. It was a thrashing as well. I think they won what 5-0. Only thing I was surprised about was Nolan never scored. Ming, King, Travis. Hey, the man team boss, allow him team. I'll never forget the first USA game. Gray entered the game and looked like an alien that fell out of a spaceship and landed on the pitch, having never seen a football on the planet from which he came. T-Gray is a better player than how many people think. Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe the occasion was just too big for real, because he did look like a deer in headlights that first time he came on the field against anybody. I was like, damn, man, looks so nervous, man. Trading center baller. Jano Magee. What happened to you? It's like when I bring up Javon East, nobody wants to hear it. Like players can't get better. Yeah. I've seen the same thing happen with Javon East. Even Trevante. Trevante is still to me in that boat where he came on in that game against Canada and was subbed off and never looked good in the game. And them just say, yo, this man not good enough, brother. No matter where you do film club. After watch Gray more, I just think it's difficult to look that bad if you're good. So I have doubts, but not fair to judge him without giving him a fair chance to impress me. Gray has been on earth for a while now, so may have improved. Not fair to judge him on a performance when he just fell out the ship. Yeah, look, he like I said, he was 2021 at the time. You know, that couple of years, I think I've done him well. I think at that time, I don't know if he was injured or carrying a little more weight than he normally does, but he did look very sluggish in some of his Jamaica performances. I will say that. And the team struggling to score lots of goals. Why is he even in the conversation? He's a truck, but his scoring record is woeful. Just boss a rando young youth. Who brought up Antonio? Did I miss something? Oh, okay. They asked who was close. Okay, yeah, I heard that part. Brings a lot of things to the table that other forwards don't. Never scored a lot, but West Ham were always better when he played. That's so true. Never was the prolific goal scorer, but West Ham score more goals when he play. The people that think Tigray not good don't seem to get that it's a team sport, and the players that play on the side with him at times don't do them job is the issue they don't get. But we need goals, and if Antonio is there, who do we drop? One of the young youths, the future. Gray is constantly playing against top class players every week, says Errol Phillips. Big up yourself, Errol. That first game, though, the man did everything wrong with the ball and without it. He literally effed up everything he did, looked like a dolphin on land. Yeah, I'm trying to remember who that first game was against, because I remember that. And I remember saying, damn, this guy looked bad today. I remember my father asking me, this is the Tavon Gray, what you tell me about? He was not very pleased. All right, that's the USA Jamaica game. Hold on, let me find it. Was it that one? Extra time in the. Was it that? That wasn't his first game though. Grenada, Jamaica. Okay, so I think that was it. Grenada, Jamaica game. That was September. Okay. Yeah, September. Honduras, 25 minutes. I didn't think he did badly in that game when he came on. Then he had it was the October window. He played Grenada, 45 minutes. And then he was on the bench for the Canada game in Jamaica. And he got a minute to beat Canada. So he was around that team. And then this must be the game you're talking about. USA, Jamaica. We lost 3-1 in extra time. He came on. And they say he did everything wrong in this game. He didn't do that badly though. Lose a ball for time. Hopeful Jero, Swagger, my brother. What's our realistic chance to win both games? 70%? Ooh, it's kind of high. I'd probably say like 45, 50. Maybe lower than that. Maybe like 35, 40% to win both. Yeah, I'll give it about 35, 40. Because, I mean, even though DR Congo is better than us, I think, overall, when you look at the players and, you know, I think they have a much clearer idea of their system and how they want to play. They are playing for the World Cup as well, so the pressure will be on them as well. They're the favorites as well. So, you know, how do they handle that? You know, I think DR Congo typically is in an underdog type of role when it comes to the biggest teams in Africa. But I think on paper and ranking, they're supposed to get there over us. They're higher ranked. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, look, we gotta do really well. What do you mean Ming is better? For real. Wait, say, I remember him history. Portmore, MB, and Watto scored against MLS teams. I said 25. Yeah, I'm probably being generous. All right, so I said 45, 50. Then I said 35, 40. Honestly, probably 25, 30. That's probably the percentage, like the honest percentage. But they ain't taking the chances. So catch 22. By the way, I'm not diminishing his contributions at all, though. Yeah, bro. What do you think about the Ming selection over Tavon Gray? Also, what are your thoughts on Merrick? Finally, speech criteria seems to have glaring flaws. Thoughts? All right. So first one, we just actually discussed that literally right when he came in. Ming over Gray is madness. I don't see how that's even possible. For one, I don't think that Ming is a natural right back at all. I think he wants to play centre back. He doesn't have the biggest size for centre back, but I just think he looks way more comfortable playing in the center of the defense than on the right hand side. I don't think he's technical enough to have that small of a space when he receive it and get closed down. Like, it's gonna be panic mode, it's gonna be panic station. And yeah, he probably won't make a big mistake and lose the ball, but we're gonna lose possession most of the time, you know. So there's that. So that's my little answer to that. Then he said, what are your thoughts on Merrick? Look, if there has to be a JPL midfielder in the team, Merrick is the one that I have no problem with choosing. I think he has shown some off the ball qualities that are rare for our midfielders. You know, he was labeled as a lazy player, by his previous employers, and you know, some kind of way Gilbert has gotten this work rate out of him that translates onto the screen and the footage, and he has the numbers to back up me saying that as well. I think he's up to 11 goals now and 5 assists. So he's just having a really good season, and it's not just this season either. He was very consistent last year as well. So has taken it to the next level this year, but was also a good player last year. So I have no issues with Merrick. I think him personally, he has a lot of potential. He's only 22 as well, so good age. Speed's criteria seems to have glaring flaw starts. Well, look, I think Speed's criteria, when he probably was setting it up, he was like, this sounds wonderful. I'm going to make this my criteria. Then he started to look at the players we actually have, and he probably said, damn, if I stick to this criteria all the way, we will have like 10 players or 8 players. So let me add some conditions, and let me add that there's a grandfather rule. And by the end of it, anybody and them Pupa, Muma can get selected. You know, there's a criteria, but there's also conditions, and there's also other factors that could come into play that are not in the write-up about what I'm using to select. So the flaws, I think the criteria's flaws are in that I think the idea itself, the concept itself was a great concept to have. Try to tell the public and the media and everybody that scrutinizes your squad a criteria that you selected based off of. But I think you, in writing it, probably realized, damn, if I get too technical with this, or if I'm too, if the policies are too stringent, then I might not have a team. So he had to add these conditions that kind of opened up that door a bit more, so we can get more players in. Because I honestly feel like, let's say if he just stuck to the first two, we wouldn't have a squad. So what's the point? You know, what is the point? Antonio could forward in for Jamal Lowe. This man determined to not have Jamal Lowe because I'm saying skip out the squad them too much. I don't know why this man keep on saying it. You know? Maybe coach will tap into his inner pep and lead us across the Red Sea. Let's see. I give Ming his credit. He's a good 2v2 defender. All right. I think Campbell could be dropped. We have more than enough wingers in the squad, but only one out-and-out centre forward. Can he work with the headache that is Leon Bailey? We say Champions Cup football. I'm kind of glad Holgate is not there. I know he would put his hand on King, slap him. Show up players and act like it wasn't his fault. Jaja. Oh, 1v1. Okay. I was like, damn, that's technical. He said 2v2. All right, my starting 11. Yeah, let me drop that. So J-Ross said, having a top 20 rule and a top league in the country rule in the same criteria makes no sense. It means a League One player can be omitted while a JPL player can be justifiably selected. Weirdly convenient. What's your take on Norman Campbell since he went to Serbia, Denmark, now Japan? Look, I think Norman Campbell, I think when he left Jamaica, he was probably like a more flary type player. And your favorite word, Travis Peso, system football kind of takes some of the flair out of him. Him look a lot more of a system baller now. You know, plays within a system, works really hard off the ball, tracking back. And I just feel like, you know, all right, So you know the aggression and the running that Kaheem Dixon does. Like I feel like Norman Campbell does that, but then has a lot more team play in his game, right? If that makes sense. Not that Dixon is selfish, but sometimes Dixon performs so off the cuff that it's hard as a teammate to read what he's going to do, if that makes sense. I'd rather Holgate over King. King is too mistake prone, always caught flat-footed. Yeah, King is weird, man. He divides opinion so much. Some people rate him so much, others don't. Rob, I think they're just outside. Yeah, so I mean, look, you can't kill him. They're 21. So yeah, I'd count that, no? It's wicked if you don't count that one there. Why so many wingers and only 2 strikers? I think he probably looked at the strikers and a couple of them him don't know if him can get them. Damn system I kill the ballers. Starting low and Lati, but the Pinnock fan them will kill me. Yeah, look, I am a Pinnock fan. You know it. You said that I defend Pinnock too much. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Based on the game time thing, I'm starting probably Lati Bodier and King, to be honest. I mean, I know J. Ross gonna hate that, but King playing the most in a good league too. It's not like Scottish Premier League is garbage. It's not the greatest in the world, but it's not garbage. And Nana, him just start play again fully, which is more than he was playing in the qualifiers. So maybe we'll get a better version of Nana for real, I'm actually a play now. Because there were some windows very forward and he wasn't playing, and he just play same way for Jamaica, So it's an interesting one. But all right, before we go in, because 2 hours a ball game knockoff. So overall, just talking on the squad, I'll say this. I would give the squad about a 6. Only because I just feel like we could have took a little bit more care with the right back area. But at the end of the day, Speid is obviously a big Ming fan. He had him at Cavalier for years, set him free to Mount Pleasant once he got to the age where, you're deemed too old to play for Cavalier. But look, obviously there's still close ties to the coach. And maybe he's thinking, look, I just need you for one game. It's New Caledonia. Just be solid like I know you can be. Don't get beat. And yeah, maybe he's thinking that New Caledonia will sit back a bit, so Kyle will have a bit more time on the ball. Who knows? But look, this is what I think overall. Balancing the team is decent. We have enough 6s, we have enough 8s, we have enough 10s. We don't really have that many strikers, but we do have players that play wing that can easily play in the central area, whether it's Norman Campbell, Tyrese Campbell, Ronaldo Cephas, even Damari Gray can play through the center. Jamal Lowan, Bailey Kadamarchi, obviously 2 of the more out-and-out forwards or center forwards. Efron Mason Clark, typically he's off the left, but can play central too. So we have some versatile players. My hope is, since the forward line is so versatile, we don't get such a static looking team. Let's say, just for argument's sake, it's Cephas on the left, Bailey through the middle, Gray through the middle, Bailey on the right. Well, guess what? Gray and Cephas can interchange from time to time. Gray makes a run out to the left, collects, Cephas fills in that gap in the middle. Next 10, 15 minutes, just stay that way. Play. You make a run out wide. Once that happens, you make the switch again and you rotate that way. Need a lot. I just feel like we have these set formations a lot when we play. And like like Pes was saying, it's kind of, it becomes robotic, right? This guy is here, that guy is there, that guy is there. This looks like a lot more interchange can go on in the team. Even Jamal Lowe and Karamatri are pretty mobile center forward, so they don't mind running sideline to sideline as a striker. So that just leaves more space to be occupied by those either wingers filling in or the attacking midfielder filling in once the player goes wide to collect. But yeah, let's get on the screen real quick the tactical pad. People, please do smash the like button. Almost 100 is still in the building, holding strong. We're on the 2 hour mark, so it's going to be the last part of the show right here. And in this segment, we're just going to show you guys. I hope this actually shows on the screen. So let me see something. Is this actually getting to the size of a chicken nugget when you guys look at it? I don't understand why this keep happening, man. For the life of me. Hold on, the people. Hold on, the people. I check something, the people. Go and smash up the like button. All right, so literally it's the size of nothing in the screen. Like, why does that happen? It don't look like that on my screen. How can I really wish I could show you guys this, I think I can though. Hold on. Let's try it this way. Actually, I don't want to do that, I don't think. Can't do that. Huh. Okay, let me just make the team and then show it and then take a picture of it. All right, that makes sense. Yo, why is this not showing? Let's see, name. Okay, cool. So I remember they're so small, man. Settings, size. Alright, cool. Yeah, I need to be able to see it. Alright, so boom. We're not gonna say the name them. Let's go build the team. That way it's still to be a surprise. This is for game one. Man, want to play sweeper anyway. Alright, so this is the new Caledonia lineup. Would I go with it? So. And All right, so next. I'm just set out my formation, people. Hold on there. Just a team hard to pick, you know? How long they pick the team? All right, I'll go with the fitter player. There, so. All right, so somewhere I set up the team, right? Like this. It's a new Caledonia. I'm gonna take that picture. It's a save. Sorry, people. This is going to be a grand reveal. Should I do this from Shirley? But don't know. Don't beat me. All right, Jamaica versus New Caledonia. I'm gonna tell you why I do them something. First draft. We call it that. First 11. All right. Subject to change. Hold on there. Let me check something. This is really what I want to do. All right, so this is gonna be my crack at the first 11. Save. All right, so this is what I would go with, people. Let me see if it will actually let me. Let's do a video image, and it should be Jamaica versus tactical pad. Okay, see if I can find this. Oh, Caledonia. I don't think this is gonna open, huh? Bombard star. Why this thing don't want me to be great, man? Why doesn't this want me to be great? It's gonna do the same rubbish as usual. All right, so you guys can see that, right? So I'm going with basically a 3-4-3. I would go Blake in goal, King in the center, and the reason why I'm doing that is, King, whenever he plays in the back four, always dropping behind the line anyway. So put him central. If he's behind the line, he can sweep from there, trying to set it up to where he want to do what he like to do. So he'll be in the middle. He'll have the most time. He have two options, left or right at all times. And the aim is give him more options around him so that he don't feel like he have to kick it long. Because I don't think we have to do that against New Caledonia. We should be able to keep the ball a bit and work our team up the pitch to get the numbers required to break down what should be a lower block or a mid block against New Caledonia. So King there, Bell left in a comfortable role for him, left center back, and Joel Latibo there on the right. So obviously the omissions here would be Ethan Pinnock, Damian Lowe. Now Damian Lowe for me, I'm just basing this off of current form, minutes this season. I think these three players, even though Latibo there got a later start, he has played at a high enough level from what I've seen when he plays that I would have him starting. And I think he's most comfortable on the back line for me in a back three. We saw it at Nations League. Probably the best window we've seen from him was that Nations League window under Halgrimson when we finished third, falling in extra time to USA and then beating Panama in the next game. And both of those games he played in a CB role in a back three, right? Now moving into midfield of the four, I would have Hayden playing closest to the back three. And if you notice, I have them kind of staggered, one a little more forward and one a little deeper. And of course, they'll cover basically the width of the 18 for me, both players. And I would just tell my two wide players in the front three, work off of where you see Casey going to base where you make your movements, whether it's a central move, staying wide, hitting the touchline, dropping in deep. Kind of let Casey's positioning dictate how you make your run, right? So Mason Clark and Brooks, I want to put them in the roles that I see them thriving the most at their club. So that's going to be off the left and off the right. So that means we have dropped quite a few players that you might be wondering where they are. The likes of Damari Gray, Ronaldo Cephas, Leon Bailey, who they said, can't be benching the top Champions League player we have. I'm telling you, people, from watching Leon this season, he's giving good 20 to 25 minutes. That's what he's giving. So let's not get him here. And because he's Leon Bailey in the Jamaican context, the biggest baller that we have, market value-wise, everything-wise, let's not ask him to do something that I haven't seen him doing, right? So it's not a dig at you, Bailey. You're still a baller. It's still my baller. Everybody baller. But let's work with what we see happening week in, week out. We know Hayden. The goal is honestly to not even have to play Hayden in the first game, but I'm going to be realistic and start him. Hopefully, I can get him out the game 55, 60 minutes. They're going to be at altitude in Mexico. I mean, the goal is to win every game. So that's kind of a crazy strategy to say, yes, at this time we're going to take you off. But I think if we want him to last in this tournament, we're going to have to give him somewhat of a rest in one of these two games. And obviously, the first one being against the easier or the lower ranked opponent, I would have to be doing it there. So Hayden starts for me because I want to put this one to bed if we can, and then give people the rest. I went with Webster as my left wing back, mainly because I know it's a strength of his to get up on the wings. And I put Bobby on the other side because I don't expect Bobby to be bombing as much anymore. And in fact, when he plays this role in possession, Lati will come wider. Bobby can be that extra player. So when we're building out, we have that nice group of five. And this is what I envision it looking like when we're in possession a bit. You know, these guys splitting, King Central here or there, and then these two trying to find that half space to receive from King, Bell, Lati, anybody. And then I want Webster getting the width on this left side. And I'm going to tell Mason Clark, listen, if we don't get it to you quickly in transition and you're wide, I want you to operate in this inside left channel. Leave that space for Webster to run down and get those crosses in. And once you see Webster get down here, Efron, I want you to attack that near post. J-Lo, I want you at the penalty spot or to the back post. And that way we'll have the numbers going forward. Now, Brooks, all action. Because remember, you know, I'm going to tell Bobby, listen, at times I want you to come in and make an extra man in midfield. So, Brooks, you may have to do a little more work down this flank, which I know you're not going to shy away from. So, that's basically why I would go with something like this. Not necessarily because I think we need 5 defenders, because some people automatically say, oh, you're going with a back three against New Caledonia. But look at all the attacking players in this system that I put on the field. So just because we have this 3 base and we have Hayden, which is, you know, 4 players that I want to really hone in and focus on defending, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quote unquote attacking players in this formation. So even though it's a back 3, which some people automatically say, oh, back 3, you're going defensive. No, look at the personnel and listen to how I want them to play. This can be an extremely attacking setup. The names might be different than what you would do. I get that, but honestly, strongly consider playing a system like this. I think it's going to give us the most numbers to attack a low block that we can get in a system, and without being extra exposed, because we will have this base of 3. I know at times Bell might get happy and get up. I know at times Latibode might get happy and get up. That's where we lean on the experience of this number 14 right here, who at any point, if they get involved, I just say, listen, Isaac, don't even wait, you know, just form that 3 again, right? And so that's why I would go with something like this. I think it like I said, it lends us to get a lot of these attacking players in and around the opponent's area. You have width can be provided on that left-hand side by your wing back. And I would tell Brooks, listen, I'm not asking Reed to go by you on this side. I want him to invert and become a central player in the build-up phase. So you, Brooks, have the whole license to do what you want to here. And then Palmer, just want you to float like you always do. Find those half pockets, find those spaces, turn. Then you have willing runners in all channels. So, look, that's my really fast little thoughts on how we can tackle this New Caledonia game. I know the formation looks a little mad right now, but let me get it back to what we're looking at. And yeah, I think that some kind of variation of this 3-4-3 could play. And that's what I would go with right there. Webster, Reed on the wing backs, Bell, King, Latibo there as the back 3. And at some point in the game, I want to get Ethan Pinnock some minutes. I also, at some point in the game, want to try and get D'Lo some minutes. I know that's kind of crazy. We have all these attacking players. We get 5 subs. And I'm saying I want to get 2 of these 3 center backs taken off. And that's mainly because I just want to see what kind of level these guys are at right now, you know? So 60 minutes or so, 65 minutes or so, I'd be strongly considering Ethan Pinnock for Bell. That could be with one eye on staying fresh. You may want to go back to a back 4 against Congo. I don't know. But I think it's imperative that these guys get something in their legs in the first game, especially if you're not kind of clear on how you want to go about the DR Congo one. But for me, based on how he picked the team, it could be that the personnel does suit a back 3 because I don't think the fullback area is extremely strong. And even some of the fullbacks, namely Amari Bell, even Ian Frey, could function in a back 3. So he has some options there. And I think the question then becomes, if you're fullback light, do you have enough options for wing backs? Where you see I've kind of threw a makeshift wing back here, Bobby Reed. This is more natural to Webster. There's another scenario where you say, okay, we don't want Bobby to be this player. Let's use Andre Brooks as the player on the right? And he can bomb past this player. And then on this right-hand side, maybe you do start Alian Bailey. And you tell him, hey, you play a little closer to low, or whatever the case is. But let me go back to the original how I had it. Brooks up here, and Bobby Reed behind him. So 3-4-3 is what I would go with, right? So, and I kind of explain how I would want the tactics to play out on there. So yeah, that's pretty much it, people. I think you guys were seeing that well just now, I hope. Right, I know I kind of fell off from the comment section just now, but I wanted to try to explain why I would go with that 11 and the tactics that I was thinking of using. I'm doing some more research as it pertains to New Caledonia. I did watch some games from the past, but I want to do some refresher watching because I have some notes on them and thing, but I want to watch it since it's so fresh now. Just watch it one more time. So I'm gonna put some time in this weekend. I'm gonna try to find the time because I'm watching EPL and other games too, but I'm gonna try to find the time at some point to do that. The next time you guys see me talking about anything to do with the Reggae Boys and this upcoming window, for sure I'm gonna break down the New Caledonia squad and break down the Congo. Well, not so much the Congo squad, New Caledonia squad. I'll do the Congo squad if it comes to it. So I'm going to give New Caledonia all the attention because that's who we're playing now. And if we get past that hurdle, then we dive into the DR Congo stuff and we start to break that down. All right, good. So I did check on the stream that you guys actually seen me move around all the pieces and all of this. So wonderful. I didn't do all of that for nothing. That is great. All right, so where do New Caledonia players come from in country only? No, so I think 23-man squad. I want to say 12 of them playing the French lower leagues. They have a player from playing in Israel. They have a player playing in the Saudi league. Where else? I know they have a couple of players playing in Tahiti. So they're from all about the place, and then the rest locals. So they have like maybe 6 of their squad actually play in New Caledonia. All the rest pretty much play somewhere else. But people, listen. It's a 3 in the middle of the park and 2 forwards. Well, that's why I'm kind of, if you notice how I was tweaking it, like one of my wing backs really is going to become an extra midfielder. So kind of shape-wise defensively, I want it to be like that. But then once we're on the ball, I want Reed to kind of become an inverted wing back, and Brooks will keep the width on the right. Webster will really supply the width on the left, and I want Efron to play that inside left channel a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah, man. You can New Caledonia's Twitter page had a list. I went through it the other day, just trying to, compile the names and make sure I was starting my little research because I knew that at some point we're gonna have a show on them. So I wanted to start to familiarize myself with the names and the people and what level them really playing at, and did a little bit of a more thorough dive in a couple of days ago where I was looking at, like, their actual stats for the season, how much minutes they are playing, all these things. So, I'm trying to come up with, obviously in that show where we talk about the New Caledonia team, we want to have a couple players to look out for, players that are based on previous results or based on their form with their club. These are the players we need to be looking at. Look, Rudolph Speid said it on a YouTube platform that you know, he was asked, "Do you have an advisor on your staff?" And he said, "No." He said, "To be quite honest, some of the people that put out the content on these platforms, he does tend to, if he doesn't watch, people will watch and send him stuff from them. And if it's interesting enough, he'll go back and watch." So the hope is, well, not hope, but this is out there. So if you want to use this in any way, that is what it's for. You can get ideas. You can say, "Oh, I didn't like this what you said, but this particular thing I did like what you said." So yeah, you might get something out of this, Mr. Speed. You never know. You never know. But people, 2.5 hours, and it's not even midnight oil. It's the 1 o'clock bells in my place. 12 o'clock in Jamaica. So listen, thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV, and this was a reaction to the full squad that was released. Let's just tell you guys one last time for housekeeping. The goalkeepers: Amal Knight, Jamali Wade, Andre Blake. Defenders: Ronaldo Webster, Amari Bell, Richard King, Damian Lowe, Ethan Pinnock, Joel Atibodier, Ian Frey, and Kyle Ming. Midfielders: Isaac Hayden, Kevin Lambert, Keroy Anderson, Tyrese Hall, Casey Palmer, Andre Brooks, Bobby Reed, and Dwight Merrick. And forwards: Leon Bailey, Bailey Kadamatri, Jamal Lowe, Demari Gray, Efron Mason Clark, Ronaldo Cephas, Norman Campbell, and Tyrese Campbell. So 27-man squad. I gave it about a 6.5, I'll say. And really and truly, the why it gets that score, not so much the makeup of the squad, because that's why I think it gets the bulk of the numbers I gave it, but I did take off a few points just because I think maybe um he could have gotten a little bit better quality in some areas just based on who I know is available, not even counting, players that would have been really close to getting citizenship or any of that. None of those players. I'm talking like players we've seen or used before, that might have done the job a bit better than some of those that were chosen. But look, it's a 27-man squad. Maybe the ones I'm looking at, I'm thinking about, don't even play. Who knows? But let's wait and see on that. I gave my 2 cents on how we can tackle this New Caledonia team in the first game. It was a first draft, so maybe when I refresh and jog my memory again as far as how New Caledonia plays specifically, I might have some tweaks to make. But for now, let's just say I like how the system I talked about and the players to go in those roles. I think it can work out that way. So big takeaways, I give it about a 6 to 6.5. If I'm being generous, I would say a 7, but I'm gonna say 6.5, right? I think that's right where it needs to be. And again, that 6.5, the bulk of that positivity is coming from the fact that I can actually pick out a couple of players for each position, which is something that you can't always say when these Reggae Boy squads are picked. We've had teams that have too many center forwards and we only play one in the system. Well, he's planning on having only two. So who knows? Maybe there's a false nine system that's going to be in effect as well. Who knows? But people, lots more content to come. You know that we are 21st, so we're 5 days away from that game on the 26th. I think that's going to be next week, Friday, is it? Is that Friday? 20th? No, it's Thursday. So next week, Thursday, the 26th. Make sure I'm not chatting foolishness. Right? The game's on the 26th, right? Thursday. All right, cool. Yeah, because I'm like, it's the 21st, but it's Saturday. Okay. 20th, yeah. All right, so 26th, Thursday, and that's great because, oh, actually, that's not great, bro. That's literally Julie's middle school championship game. And I have a feeling they're going to make it. I mean, they have to win the semi on Tuesday, but I mean, I've seen most of the teams in this league play. I think our team will make it to the final. But hey, you have to play the game. So hopefully I can't do a live stream. If I can't do a live stream, that means that Julie made it to the final. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But you don't know if I can't stream the game live, it'll be a similar situation to tonight. We'll do a watch along. I mean, not a watch along. We'll do a live reaction night of the match. I will have watched it by then, I'm sure. And we can do a breakdown, player ratings, how we always do it on this channel. All right, break down everything. But people, big up on yourselves. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV. And until next time, people, come on, you reggae boys. 2 games, you know? 2 games? Can we reach this World Cup, people? I made one said 20 to 25%. I have a little more hope than that. 30 to 35, 25 to 30. Yeah. Let's see. But the squad is out. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know if there is just anything that you thought I might have gotten wrong tonight or right tonight. You guys leave your thoughts in the comment section. Leave your grade in the comment section out of 10. I give the squad a 6.5. What do you guys give it? Being generous, I'd say a 7. I'm going to say 6.5 because I mark hard. All right. But people in the comment section underneath the video, let me know, leave your grade for the team, and also let me know any thoughts you might have, immediate reactions to this squad that was selected. All right, people, listen, big up to each and every one of you lovely people that stuck around for the entire 2.5 hours. I know there's some of you out there. Even if you weren't saying a word, the views do count and matter. Thanks so much for the support. What kind of likes total are we looking at on the video? Oh, we're not doing too well, people. We're at 61 likes for the video, people. Come on. On the way out, please do remember to hit that like button. We should be able to get this video up to 100 likes. That's not impossible, is it? All right, people. Well, big up, you know. And thanks again for all the support, people. One love, and we're out of here, people. I'm going to go get some rest. Big up.